This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. We're in the morning of the weigh-in for Geordie Raw, fighting on the bill tomorrow night, live on Sky Sports. Anthony Joshua, MBE. Hello, Anthony.
How you doing, KUGAN?
Very well. Can you explain why there's 2 oranges on the table, please?
Just finishing up breakfast, so just gonna get some vitamin C in me. But
You don't know how long this interview is going to last,
yeah,
so...
This interview is important, so I decided to put the breakfast on hold and get this done first.
I'm going to tell you, there was a few comments on, I think it was our iFilm London Twitter yesterday, where people, because there wasn't an interview with you that went on yesterday, they were suggesting that you didn't want to do interviews with us because we'd been interviewing Dylan White recently.
Yesterday, done the press conference. Straight after that, we went to the physio. Straight after physio, we went to the masseuse. And straight after the masseuse, we went to Nando's, of course. And by the time we got back, me and you just decided it would be easier to get it done today. It's as simple as that, really.
So for all you cynical people out there, that's just been confirmed. Jason GAVERN.
Yeah.
Seen Jason GAVERN before. He was obviously in Prize Fighter a couple of years ago, and I watched him against Deontay Wilder actually last year. But watched it live. Yeah, you didn't come out for the 5th round, but he was drafted in at sort of 9 days' notice. But opponent's an opponent.
Most definitely, an opponent's an opponent. Anyone who gets in the ring, got to give him credit, as all boxers know. But yeah, Jason GAVERN for me, for where I'm at, coming back off injury, yeah, good little fight. But I won't be fighting Jason GAVERN forever. But while I am, I can only beat what's in front of me.
You were always kind of put on or penciled in this show, but you were kind of adamant that always that you wanted to see how your stress fracture was bearing up before you sort of committed to saying you were definitely going to fight on this bill. Yeah,
exactly. So that you can talk about weeks' notice and stuff, but same way, I didn't really know whether I was going to be on this bill for sure, because we was really trying to schedule in for April 25th. Because those extra 3 weeks would have been amazing for the recovery that I was doing. But I'm good. I've done a load of work strengthening up a lot of my weaknesses. That put me in good stead for this fight, man. So I think it's an honour to be back. The keys are in, the hype train's rolling again, and it's time to get everyone back on board.
I thought you was the one that said don't believe the hype.
Nah, but I'm just saying, now I'm boxing again, the hype train is rolling again. I can't control the media. I'm here with you, I can't control that. You want to do an interview, I'm not going to turn you down. People will start thinking it's for other reasons and being cynical. So we just get the interviews done, and the hype train starts rolling once again.
First time boxing in Newcastle, and you've obviously boxed in places like Scotland and wherever else, and this is another place on your journey that, you know, where the locals here get a chance to see you live in action.
Yeah, you know the boxer's saying, we fight anyone, anywhere. Right now, I'm fighting anywhere. Right now, my coach is building me up to a position where I'll be able to defeat any heavyweight. So until that time, it's just fighting anywhere. Newcastle, Liverpool, Scotland. Where else have we been, Coog? Manchester, London, so on and so forth. And then there will soon be a stage where it's fight anyone as well. So just adding the little pieces to the puzzle at the minute.
Talking to Eddie Hearn, he kind of think that obviously you've got GAVERN in front of you ahead of anything else. If everything is to go well, you'll move on to Kevin Johnson May the 30th. And then after that Johnson, then he believes you're ready for, should we say, we talked about this phase thing last year, but moving on to the next sort of level of opponent. Do you agree with that?
So it's only a fight. I could fight anyone, but it's a career. And honestly, I'm guided by my coach, innit? And that's a man I listen to. That's my sensei. So I respect his opinion. Eddie Hearn will bring opponents forward. At the minute, as that's my promoter, and then my coach will pick him out and pick the best one for me right now. So whatever he says, if he told me fight him, I'm never going to say, coach, I'm not ready for him. It's like, yeah, let's get it on. He believes in me, so that's all that's down to with opponents, really. It's just Eddie will bring them forward, my coach will filter them out, say, yeah, that's good, that's no good. Eddie will call them up, are you available? No, yeah. Kevin Johnson was hoping to get him for this, but yeah, he really does feel he can beat me with the right training, so he wants a couple extra months to prepare for May 30th. So yeah, there's a variety of opponents that we're looking at the minute, but as you said, now first Jason GAVERN, God willing, I get that out of the way, and then we'll move on to Kevin Johnson. And then after that, there'll be some interesting announcements, I reckon, which I've already put a few ideas into my coach's head as well. And he's interested in those fights as well, so time will tell.
How does it work? Your promoter, your coach and yourself. What if there's a fight that your coach and promoter want you to have, but say you didn't fancy it or you didn't think it was right? What happens in that situation?
I don't think that would ever happen. Since an amateur, I've always, who you fighting, the Cuban, who you fighting, the Italian, Kazakhstani, what is he, world champion, Olympic champion. I was 23 fights in at those times. It's just fun, it's just a fight. The training's the hard part, the fight's the fun part. So even as a professional, if my coach believes in me, that's enough to say I'm ready. He sees me day in, day out, and works with me day in, day out. He knows my capabilities and how I'm progressing. So if he does believe in me, then what doubts have I got in myself? Nothing.
Isn't there opponents out there that you just think to yourself off your own back that, you know what, I think that would be a good test for me, or I think that would be moving me up a level, or I think this, and you go to them?
Come on, I'm a human. Same way that people suggest fights is the same way I feel I suggest fights. But I've been boxing now since 2008. I've been a pro since 2013. My coach has been in the game before I was even born. So I definitely respect my coach's opinion rather than someone else's opinion who's just seen me as a professional for the last year and going off kind of me fighting a few journeymen. So yeah, it's all down to my coach really. That's the main guy I listen to and I take advice from. I've got complete belief in him, and that's why I chose to be with him.
There was a documentary that aired on ITV4 a couple of nights ago, which was quite interesting. But for you to even sit back and watch that, and it must have been a little bit of a journey back over the last year or so. It was, I think, the part one leads into at the end of your sixth fight, and there's another part to come. But watching all that back through, and a lot has changed since the end of that, hasn't it?
Yeah, even when you come down to Meriden Estate and we done an interview, I think 2009.
No, this was a year before the Olympics, so 11.
Yeah, a lot's changed. A lot. Time moves quick, and it's great that we can document all these things and reflect on the past. That's what life's about, reflecting. It's a great insight. It's quite inspiring in itself. That's all it is really, just to inspire younger amateur boxers and younger athletes coming up. That I wouldn't say dreams come true because I'm not finished yet, but dreams are in the making if you work hard. And that's kind of the message behind the documentary. Just be inspired and you can change your life around if you put in hard work.
You obviously spoke about quite a few things that you've not always spoke about publicly. The way your life could have gone if you hadn't got into the boxing game. It's a bit of a cliche because a lot of boxers have said it before, you know, if it weren't for boxing, you know, I'd probably be whatever, prison, whatever. But things could have been different for you, couldn't they, if this hadn't been your life choice?
I feel I definitely would have been successful one way or another. I've just got that ambition in me. And then I found boxing to nurture that ambition into something and make it a talent. But I was just putting a lot of energy at the time into wrong things. I was young, do you know what I mean? There was like a lot of us on the corners just wasting time. The devil makes work for idle thumbs. So it was all just kicking back. But yeah, I would have matured. Hopefully I would have got through that stage without making too many wrong decisions. Listened to a lot of my elders, you know, my family, my good friends that are older than me that give me advice, and I would have pulled myself through and found something to do that's positive, whether it was boxing or not. But imagine that, I walked into a boxing gym at the time when I needed to. You know, it's a godsend. It was a miracle that I was directed into a boxing gym. And then here we are now, you know, a couple of years down the line, 10 fights as a pro, world silver, ABA champion, Haye, all that Olympic medal. It's amazing in itself, right? It's just hard to describe, but it just shows there's potential and there's a long road to go down. There's still a lot more to achieve if I keep my head on my shoulders, feet on the ground, innit?
What was interesting when that belt that's on your mantelpiece, what was that from?
The best boxer of the year, 2009.
Yeah, and you kind of made reference to the fact that, you know, obviously in the boxing world, it's meaningless, but to you it's kind of a priceless thing of where you started and where you've come now.
Yeah, definitely. That was my first belt. What do we? Well, as an amateur, you fight for medals. I thought my goal was to win the ABAs and turn pro and chase all the belts. So yeah, I've always wanted belts, and that was my first one. Best boxer in the gym. It was all club voted for it. I put my vote in. I got the majority of votes, and it was good to be achieving some stuff positive and getting pats on the back for beating people up. It was good. It was a good time, man. The gym that I was in was filled with a lot of my family. I class those guys there as my family. And you know, when you're amongst everyone that you love and then you do a presentation and everyone's supporting you, because there's a lot of negativity out there. So to be around hundreds of positive people that want you to do well is nice.
I didn't think he was going to stop bringing out your medals for a second there when you were showing them kids there. It's
they must have edited it.
And there's this one. Oh, and this one. Oh, hold on. There's another one as well. There's the NBA one.
Yeah, it's good. Imagine that though. Growing up, I never saw any of those medals. You only want to achieve what you see, really. You know, if you grow up in that area where you only see Fiat Puntos, and that's the best car around the area, that's what you're going to aspire to. You grow up seeing Rolls Royces, that's what you're going to want to aspire to. So, growing up, maybe I didn't really get exposed to these type of things. So, to go to these schools and take some time out, as you said, documentaries and that, I know it's all hype and whatnot to the people that are cynical, but to kids and that are watching, they say, you know, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. I want to do that. And you never know, that could inspire someone to go on to be better than what we've ever seen before.
You seem to be one of these characters within the boxing world in your short professional career already that people are sort of taking inspiration from, and young children are sort of taking inspiration from, which is a good thing. But you're also aware on the flip side that because you're winning and because you're high profile, everyone kind of wants to know you. But there is a flip side to this if things aren't to work out, isn't there?
Yeah, I'll always be successful. I don't really put no doubt in my head. That's just a mind frame. Things will work out. I think that the inspiring stuff, the kids looking up to me and so on, that's nothing I can control. That's just work. That's God's work. That's the media's work. I'm just very lucky to be in this position. And I can't control that. And how people want to perceive me is down to their own opinion, isn't it? But if things don't go well, I'm sure that the people who are loyal supporters will stick by me. You know what I mean? If you can learn from your mistakes, then what's wrong with a mistake? So yeah, I just don't think that one or two mistakes will ever hold me back from wanting to go on and achieve great things.
I was talking to one of your close friends yesterday about what is your favourite type of interview to do? You know, what gets the most sort of feedback and the most response and the most watched? And I kind of used you and Tyson Fury as two contrasting examples of why people watch the interview, because people will watch Tyson Fury because of his unpredictability, his brashness, and basically don't know what he's going to come out with and the randomness of it. And yourself, kind of a different side to it where it's more level-headed and more focused and you're thinking about what you're saying. But if you're not you, or you're not Tyson Fury, how do you make noise in this heavyweight division?
By winning. It took me a year to turn pro because I examined what was right for me and what was going to work. I predicted a lot of things that are happening and they're coming into reality now. Before you make decisions, make sure you think them through. And don't think of today, think of where that will put me in the next 2-3 years. So if you want to make noise in the heavyweight division, my whole game is strategy, man. I strategize my career, you know, since day one. A lot of it, luck is on my side as well, but a lot of it's been strategy. It can't all be luck. And just align yourself with the right people. And as you said, you've got to be good to people on your way up. Because as you said, if it all fails, you're going to meet them on the way down. And you need the right people to put you back where you was. And if you want to make noise, be patient and wait your time. I think patience is key as well.
I'll give you an example. It's not necessarily specific to your division, but we did an interview with Prince Patel recently, who made his professional debut at York Hall, which was much talked about because of the content within the interview. I don't know if you've watched it at all. Have you seen this interview? Right. So, if Prince Patel hadn't done that interview in that sort of way, and it had been a routine post-fight interview, that interview probably would have maybe had 500 or 600 views. It's had 40,000 views because of the way it was. So where do you find that balance of people know who Prince Patel is now. He hasn't gone about it in people's eyes the right way, but is all publicity good publicity?
There's a balance. All publicity, you can't always have that type of publicity. There's light, there's dark, there's right, there's wrong. You need a balance. It's up to him, innit? It's his game. He strategized that. I'm sure when he's sitting at home with his family, that's not his character. It's a character, and that's who he's choosing to be. I can't really speak on his strategy and what his game plan is, but if it's working for him, I wish him the best. That's all I can really say on Prince Patel.
But just in general, can you see why people have to sort of do these things to sort of get themselves out there?
Nah. I never done that. That's why I can't.
You're kind of in a different position, though, aren't you?
Nah, I started off as an amateur boxer with no fights, no experience, and I worked my way up to where I am now. So, how am I didn't get put here. I didn't trash talk my way here. I worked my way here. So you can't tell me. I won't say you can't tell me, but I can't relate to that. That's why.
Oh, that's fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Because I haven't done it that way. That's why I can't speak on it. I've done it my way.
That's fair enough.
That's why. That's the only reason. You haven't. I don't know. Your interviews are pretty laid back. They're not too. What's the word I'm looking for? You don't try and stir the pot too much. You know, you just ask people general questions, and you've done really well for yourself because you've been patient. You've been grinding. I've been with you from the start. I've been doing interviews with you from the start, and I've seen your progression. We've had conversations on the phone that people don't know about strategies and so on. And this is where you are now. And it's just your way, the way you strategize it. Patel strategizing his way to the top by performing in the ring, creating a buzz outside of it. All he has to do is win, consistently win and beat people that are put in front of him. And then I'm sure he'll get more and more recognized, not only for his talents, not only for his mouth, and they'll all come together.
Okay. You knew I was going to ask you about Dillian Whyte. This is recently, sort of in the last 2 or 3 months, started up again. There was a Twitter thing between yourselves recently. But first of all, is this a potential fight for you realistically in the next year?
For me, seems that he wants to fight, so I don't see why not. It's not that something that's not realistic. For sure it's realistic. I think if he wants to fight, he should send over a contract at some point when he's ready. It'll be something that we can look at.
Is it a fight that you would go out with your promotional team and management team to seek out?
Yeah, most definitely. But if I'm the one seeking it, I'm going to do things my way when I'm ready and make the most of that fight for sure, because it'll be a massive fight.
Do you feel that that fight could not heat into something that it's really not, but it could take away the element of it is not just a fight, but it is about a fight ahead of anything else?
Me, I'm a mature character. I do my job. As you see, I don't really talk about what I'm doing and what I'm doing to these opponents I'm fighting right now, because I don't really prove myself in the pro ranks, so I'm not really hype. But in what sense, when you say could it be blown out of proportion?
Yeah, it just seems to be a lot of, say bad blood, but I'll use a different word for it.
For me, I'm lucky to be in the position I am. You know, I don't really feel no bad blood. I'm enjoying my life. You know, I've worked my way up to where I am right now. There's no one I look at and I would think to myself, I wish I was them. So there's not really no bad blood for me. It's just another fight, another opponent I'm going to have to break down and beat. And when that time comes, if it is him, we'll get it on and may the best man win.
From a fan point of view, I think a lot of fans would like to see Joshua Whyte, whether you're a fan of either, would just like to see that fight as two unbeaten heavyweights.
I think that a lot of fans would like to see, what is it, Joshua Fury, Joshua Price, Joshua Whyte, Joshua Parker, Joshua Brown, Joshua him, Joshua that. And as I said, a lot of them will get their wishes, for sure. But we'll do it when I'm ready. Same way I've controlled my career from day one. No one's saying that it's not going to happen. I'm just saying that I'll do it when I'm ready.
Do you kind of look at fights at that level?
At what level?
At the Furies and the Prices,
okay,
and them kind of fights if you want to put Dylan White in there as well. Do you look at it and think, what's in it for me before you make any sort of decision?
No. There'll always be something in it for me. I don't want to start, but my resume, as you said, with people understanding more about my journey and following my journey, there will always be viewers to watch, and that's what boxing's ruled by. Is if this fight happens, how many viewers do you think we can get? So that's why the public do demand fights, because it's all about viewing numbers. So yeah, there'll always be something in it for me. If I've got a massive following and a core following, then there'll always, no matter who I fight, there'll be someone tuning in. There'll always be something in it.
Did an interview recently with David Haye, and he's been out the ring for 3 years this July, which is a long time for someone like David Haye to be out the ring.
Nah, he's super talented. Probably done his body good, someone like that. It's 3 years, time flies, so on paper 3 years is a long time, but to the body, preserving your body, it might have done him some good, especially with his shoulder injury, and give him time to heal up properly.
So another potential fight could add to them names at some point.
Massive, man. I rate Haye as well. See, that's a brilliant fight I'd like to take at some stage when it'll be like a good even fight. Right now, Haye will probably beat me, but due to experience. Remember, he's been in the ring with Klitschko, brilliant performance. Been in cruiserweight champ, heavyweight champ of the world. What are my 10 fights? 10 fights in. So to put my name alongside Haye right now doesn't really make sense. But potential-wise in the future, yeah, that would be a massive fight if I can go in and beat some respectable names in the division. But as for now, you can't even put me up there with likes of Fury and Price, because I haven't, catapulted into that level yet. But potentially, these fights definitely are something that are sizzling in the pipeline.
Have you spoke about the British title, fighting for that this year?
Yeah. Fury's got it now. Fury's got the British title now.
I don't know if he's vacated yet or not.
Vacated. I think it just depends whether he gets the shot or not. If he gets the world title shot, I think he'll vacate. If not, if a fight comes along that's worth the risk and reward for him, I think for him, he might think before he takes a fight, what's the risk, what's the reward at that level? Do you know what I mean? At my level, there's not much risk at the minute, no reward. It's just about experience. At his level, there's a lot more to lose. So I think for him to fight one of these hungry up-and-coming fighters, everything has to balance out for him to put his chance at the heavyweight championship on the line and the British title, and I think European title on the line. He's got a lot to lose.
But that would be your first major thing that you'd want to win, surely, isn't it? The British title.
WBC international champ, bro.
British title?
100%. That would be lively. I don't really get fazed by the titles and stuff like that. I like beating people up, man. Honestly.
You got that belt on your mantelpiece when you was about 9.
That's a presentation. I don't have the WBC international one up there. You don't see my medals plastered around my house and stuff like that. I'm not really into that stuff. No. That was just my first, my first you're doing well, we will support you type trophy, 2009. And just hides all the wires behind the TV.
Belts are there to confirm your status of where you are in the boxing world. Is that a fair assessment of what a belt is, really?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. What is that? There's silver belts, bronze belts. So when you say belts, it depends what one.
Well, I'm just saying, look.
You need to beat the best.
Right. So right now, what's the best belt you could probably have round your waist? What?
Is beating the best man in the division.
Right.
It's just Deontay Wilder and Vladimir Klitschko. And that's what I'm saying. So you've got to beat the best man to get that belt. So yeah, that's why the belts. What's the point in saying, I'm fighting for the WBC belt, I've made it. No, you've got to beat that geezer first. So I don't get fazed by it. I'm fighting for the belt, or I want to beat the guys. That's what I'm interested in. Just fighting, and how can I beat this opponent? All the accolades and that come after.
It's fair enough.
That's just my philosophy and outlook on it. Belts and stuff are great, but I'm not interested in, I'm fighting for the WBC. Yeah, we're here now. It's all right, I'm fighting Vladimir Klitschko. Put all the hype aside, and it's Vladimir Klitschko or Deontay Wilder. What have I got to do to defeat these opponents? And once I defeat these opponents, I'm going to become heavyweight champion of the world. What comes with being heavyweight champion of the world? X amount of fighters calling you out, trying to defeat you. How do I now go about dealing with those responsibilities, dealing with the social pressures? You know what I mean? That's what comes with beating opponents. So that's the target, to beat these. And then the next target is, all right, now I'm champ. How do I go about unifying the division and so on? That's just my outlook on it.
Sounds like a strategy.
Once again, every move's calculated, Coog.
This interview was calculated. Planned it for exactly this time of the morning, straight after breakfast.
And I knew every question you was going to ask.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It means I'm becoming too predictable.
I predicted this last night, didn't we?
You did, actually. Yeah. You said a few things that I would probably ask in this interview about. Yeah. That's maybe becoming familiar. It's not a bad thing sometimes.
When did we first link up? 2011. 11, yeah.
Or anyone.
Yeah, just like one of the
before you'd run a year before you'd gone into Olympics.
Yeah, that's right.
So that hype train really hadn't even started then when I climbed aboard it.
Nah.
I was kind of like,
they were just putting on the wheels,
just structuring the train. I was probably like a little servant,
drawing out the
wheels.
Yeah.
Thank I was.
Good times, man. The good times. They were fun times, the amateurs. Really fun. What else can we talk about? What else? Give me some more subjects to talk about. Fighters. Hype.
I'll tell you what, we haven't even mentioned it. May 2nd.
May 2nd, Mayweather Pacquiao.
I haven't mentioned it.
What an honour it would be to go and watch greatness, two great athletes. You know, Pacquiao taking a few L's, bounced back, gone on to achieve great things, to become one of the greatest in the division. Mr. TBE, Mr. Money. Mr. Mayweather gets money, Mr. MGM, Mr. Vegas, Mr. Flashy Lifestyle, Mr. one of the best athletes in the world today. What a position to be in, and I might have a chance to go and watch them live, man. That would be unbelievable. But then again, in the back of my mind, thinking strategically, I got Kevin Johnson that wants to train hard to beat me. He's taking it serious. Whether people think that it's a first round job or not, realistically, he's a good fighter, very defensive. So I think I might have to knock that one on the head when I'm thinking a few more weeks into the future, past May 2nd. But I personally think that Mayweather will win. Mayweather needs to win. But if Pacquiao does, it sets up a rematch. So how brilliant would that be for boxing?
Be great for boxing, depending on what happens May the 2nd. Obviously, everyone's got their split decisions.
Mayweather for me. I'm Team Mayweather. I hope he wins.
Okay. We're just going to sit right in the middle of Pac-Man and Money Man.
Yeah. I wish them both the best, man. For me, Mayweather, man. Talented guy. Remember where his dad's fought, I think, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Correct.
Yeah, his uncle was it middleweight champion? No, not middleweight.
No.
He was a world champion.
Roger Mayweather.
Yeah, champion. He's got boxing drilled into his brain. I think he's come across many Pacquiaos through his amateur career early on as a pro, and now he's it's really established now. It's no different. Just another opponent to defeat for Mayweather, I think, and I'm sure he'll come out victoriously.
Just taking a short little break there. Anthony's eating one of his oranges and seems to have livened up a little bit.
Feeling fresh, Cougs.
Anyway, so the weigh-ins are late weigh-in today at 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
and then
sorry for the people making weight, and it's a hard life. It's a hard life, especially the weigh-in being pushed back to 4 p.m.
Yeah. And if you say that, and it being overweight doesn't really make any ounce of difference to you.
Big respect to them boys, honestly. It makes boxing a whole lot harder than it already is.
Fair enough. All right, well, listen.
Anything else?
Well, is there anything you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to talk about?
Anything I want to get off my chest? Life's simple, life's beautiful. I'm doing what I love doing. Nah, everything's jiggy, mate. Everything's fine, yeah.
Okay. Do you watch much of boxing apart from the heavyweight division?
Yeah, of course. Follow a lot of social media sites that give me insights. I like watching Sugar Ray Leonard.
Okay. Well, there was going to be I thought there was going to be an extra.
Do you?
Do I like watching Sugar Ray Leonard?
No. Do you like watching other fights? Like, what's your favourite division, or do you like watching all the weight classes?
I like watching all the weight classes. To be honest, you have your favourite fighters, but I kind of have to keep tabs on.
Who's the leading British heavyweight?
The leading British heavyweight. Yeah. What, name-wise?
Actively.
Actively?
Yeah.
I'd say probably Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Being mandatory for Klitschko's title, I'd say currently for name, activity, everything rolled into one, I'd say Tyson Fury. What would you say?
Tyson Fury. Be good if you can get the shot, mate. Be good for British boxing, mate. Make that division a bit more lively than it already is.
Definitely. I see thoughts bubbling around in your head, Anthony. All right, well, listen, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for talking to IFL TV.
Thank you guys once again for talking to me. There'll be more to come. It's been a while, and we'll make sure we pencil one more in before this weekend's over, yeah?
Definitely, 100%. Well, best of luck. I was saying best of luck with weighing, but it's just you doing a few posy photos on scales, really, so it ain't really more than that. But tomorrow night, live on Sky Sports, I think you're fighting around 10:15, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, 10:15, yeah.
You get a haircut as well?
Yeah, I've got 2 o'clock appointment. But this is the grind when you're stuck in the gym, mate. No time for barbers, no time to live life. It's not easy.
Eat another orange. Right, this has been KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV with Anthony Joshua MB. Thank you very much for watching.